That Twisted Cyclone is cranking them out. Goliath was about 5 minutes between dispatches. My first RMC of 2019, Twisted Cyclone. Not a new RMC, but first one I've ridden this year. It is riding great today. I rode in the third row. The only other two times I've ridden it is last row and next to last row. So I thought I'd try something different, and it rode great in the third row. So I'm glad I got one ride on it. Only had to wait about 40 minutes. Now the line's gotten longer. I'm thinking I may have underrated this ride from my last visit here. And there's a shot of the mine train ride, probably the only ride that you can get on without a wait, just because it's so terrible. Although Great American Screen Machine's pretty terrible too. I should be able to walk right on. And after the 25th lift hill on the ride, then you come around here. Really great view of the pretzel loop. Probably the best view of a pretzel loop I've gotten on the four flyers that I've done. The 4 B&M flyers. There is the greatest roller coaster ever made, the smoothest ride of all time, Great American Screen Machine. Here comes the return trip. Concussion doctors are waiting for them.
Get ready to make your 6-night experience loud. Live and local concerts.
That's cool seeing the butterfly from this angle. This is the worst roller coaster on planet Earth, and it's got like an hour line. That is ridiculous. That's hilarious. They're kicking everyone off. And a Vekoma has a line like this. And they're running one train. Yeah, with one train operations, this is going to be an hour-and-a-half long line for a Vekoma. Granted, it's probably the best Vekoma in the United States, but still, it's a Vekoma. I missed the butterfly. You start off with a 6-minute long lift hill. And you eventually go down the curve drop into the butterfly, which is really cool. And I forget what this inversion is called. And you turn into the double corkscrew. Obviously, they got it up and running again. Well, congratulations, Great American Scream Machine. You are no longer at the bottom of the list. You are no longer the worst coaster I've ever ridden. In fact, you're nowhere near the worst coasters list at all. I just got a ride on it, and it was a really pretty good ride. It still has some jackhammering, but nowhere near as bad as the ride I got in 2016. I was here in September 2016, rode this, absolutely hated it, said it was the worst coaster of all time, undoubtedly. I swore to never ride it again, no matter what. And I decided to ride it again today. Because I had a feeling maybe I had just gotten a really bad ride, and yeah, I think that was the case. I got an absolutely terrible ride in 2016, or I just got a really good ride right now. So I don't know which one is which, but I actually liked it. That's kind of why I wanted to ride it again, because I had a feeling that if I tried it again, my opinion might change and it might be better, and it was. Just goes to show you, you get a bad ride on something, you ride a roller coaster and you hated it. Yeah, I don't like that slamming to a stop. If you got a ride on a roller coaster that you hated, maybe give it another try if you have the chance. It might be better. Or you might find that it was as bad as you remember. So for perspective on that, I was in row 5. And when I got the really bad ride on it, I was towards the back, but not in the very back. I think I was maybe third or fourth seat up from the back.
I'm a leader.
The line for the super loop is about to spill out onto the midway. Really. And It happened again. We stopped on the lift hill. Probably because that train hadn't cleared the brake run. That train probably got stuck on the brake run, and the safety system stopped us on the lift hill. Once they got it cleared from there, we were able to restart. That happened on the Iron Rattler. Thought we were going to get evac'd in, and ended up getting to ride it. And that same thing happened here. I think we were up there longer. Longest roller coaster ride I've ever had. What's up, guys?
Oh, yeah, it's Fred, you know, with it. Best YouTuber right here. I'm really got stuck. You know what I'm saying? Then we got the swings over there. The swings, yeah. Those are fun. And you haven't been since I was Georgia. Please, it's fun. It's fun for the brother. Mama, the daddy. Everybody. The brother, the whole family. No.
All right. It is a great ride. I enjoyed that a lot this time. I was here last year, got one ride on it. It was pretty good. This ride was better. I will not be able to give my assessment of Mako and Goliath, riding them in the same week. This line, it could be longer, but the operations are running extremely slow. They do have two trains, but it's running as if it's just one train. That's how slow the things are moving. So, yeah, I don't have time for that. It's almost 8 o'clock, and if I get in that line, it'll be after 9 o'clock before I get to ride. So, I don't know. I don't know if Mako or Goliath is better. Goliath doesn't have a mid-course brake run. It's got more airtime hills. It's got that forceful helix. But Mako has the cool theming. It's got that camelback hill that is maybe the craziest moment of airtime on any hyper. So it's hard to say. But Mako also has that mid-course brake run and that final section where you're going out over the midway. Doesn't really do anything. There's no airtime or force in that section. It's just cool going over the midway. While Goliath is giving you positive G's or negative G's pretty much the entire way. So it seems like technically Goliath is probably the better ride, but experience-wise, I think Mako's more fun. But it's so close. I got them ranked like back-to-back on my rankings. That is so good at night. That does take it to the next level, even with the structure all lit up. I really wish I could have gotten a Goliath ride while I was here, but the line was so long and the operations, they were moving so slow. It was basically about 5 minutes to get a train out, which is crazy because it's Goliath. It's a B&M Hyper without seatbelts. You ought to be able to crank those things out real fast. Don't know why that was going so slow, but Twisted Cyclone, they were cranking the trains out real quick. They were doing really well on Twisted Cyclone, which is why I waited about 40 minutes the first time, 30 minutes for the night ride. Not bad for what was an extraordinarily busy day. Maybe one of the busiest days the park has ever had. That's too bad that those have been my only experiences at this park, is the busy Saturdays. Not really a fair representation, my experience. And I don't know if the line jumping has to do with that too. Maybe line jumping isn't such a terrible thing on other days. Maybe it's only on Saturdays, but boy, oh boy, the line jumping today, completely out of control. Even at the end there, just trying to get a refill on my mug. I had like 4 or 5 people just cut right in front to the very front of the line, decided, yep, it's my turn. You all that have been waiting in line, you're just going to have to wait on me. That kind of thing's going on all day long, everywhere. That's unfortunate. Because certainly not everybody is like that. That lives around here, but it just seems like there are a lot of them that do that here. And I'm sure plenty of local people just as frustrated with it as I am. It's definitely unfortunate because this park has some really great rides. Top 2 that is just amazing in Twisted Cyclone and Goliath. And a great supporting staff. Batman the Ride, Mindbender, Blue Hawk, Daredevil Dive, and yes, I'm going to say a Great American Scream Machine as well.